Aquarius, accept this ending and allow grace to rise you from the ashes with the clarity that the phoenix provides. It is only when you have to show your strength that you will see just how powerful you've become. Let's do this. Hello, beautiful souls. Thank you guys so much for joining me here and welcome to my table. If you're new here, hello, my name is Zachary. It's nice to meet you. And if you're returning, it's good to see you guys again. Pull up a chair, my friends. I did save you a seat. So, my Aquarius friends and friends of Aquarius, welcome back for another round. Come on in. I do have some messages here in meditation. Some oracle cards were pulled, and then we'll get into the tarot, as we do. So, Aquarius to start. The first thing that came through is it's time. It is time. The next thing that came through on that was return that book. I feel like for somebody in particular, there's something that's overdue that needs to be returned, whether this was borrowed from a friend or a library. I felt like this was a little bit of levity here with this message too, as we're talking about something coming to an end and strength being invigorated or being shown to us, needing to express our own strength too. So the next thing that came through here was brain rot. Brain rot makes brain farts. Interesting. This was an interesting one to come through with spirit. It feels like there is a bit of humor here. Like I said, the message feels maybe it's heavy, or there's something that you guys are going through. We're all going through, being in the age of Aquarius here. That is heavy. And laughter is, healing and transformative too. But I do feel like there's also a purpose to this. Brain farts being brain fog, that sort of thing. Brain rot is something that we would experience if we're doom scrolling constantly or on our devices, just consuming material that is garbage day in and day out. So I do feel like there is a caution here towards, or a reminder what it is that you're putting in. Input equals output. Okay. The next thing that came through here was overarching nemesis. And then the enemy of my friend is my enemy. This is interesting as we get into the oracle cards here later, because this theme kind of pulls through. I'm not encouraging anything to be black and white, and that isn't typical for messages like that to come through. I do also see its applicability here, though. We are not living in a time, or any time really, that we're alive here, are we intended to just take care of ourselves. I know there's a lot of belief in New Age spirituality, especially, or self-help, whatever. This belief of like, if you just stick with positive and only light and ignore everything else that's bad, get rid of the friends that maybe are having a hard time or feeling negative, and you'll be just fine and you'll ascend or whatever. That's not real, you guys. If anything, you're trapping yourself back with karma to come back and do it again. We are here to balance ourselves and balance with those around us too. It's a two-part process, okay? And we can't just ignore part of it because it's hard. And right now, there is a reason to choose sides, to choose the future that we want to participate in versus one that maybe we don't, okay? Insight. Let's get into the oracle cards here. I was drawn to the oracle of the phoenix, as the phoenix came through in the beginning here. The first one that came through is insight. And as I was reading through the book to Cliff Notes it for you, I felt that it was important just to read it. So I shall. Scusi. Let's see here if I can figure out this microphone. So the small phoenix reduces to ashes the inner veils that blind you to your destiny. It destroys everything that prevents you from seeing the purpose of this incarnation clearly. Recognize that the reasons you are here are simpler than you might think. Firstly, you are here to create balance between yourself and other incarnated souls in order to restore karma. And that is literally what we're doing here, you guys. We are stuck in the wheel of samsara. We're stuck in the wheel of karma. And we are intended to pay that balance individually and collectively. And there's not a part of that that we can skip. Okay. Secondly, you are here to do your duty as a light-filled, loving person, to help others along their soul paths and to embody divine love. Thirdly, you are here to heal the hurt from past lives and therefore to discover new strengths and abilities, and to live in the energy that comes from other incarnations. Lastly, you have been put here on earth to laugh, see, feel, taste, smell, hear, and love unconditionally. You are not here to find enlightenment, as your soul is already enlightened. Embrace this life with all it has to offer. Take a deep dive into it and enjoy it. And I know, as that said, that like we're not here for enlightenment. I know that can be a touchy subject. There is a practice, whether it be dogma in religion, dogma in New Age spirituality, where there is something that needs to happen and then there's a reward. There's this process of ascension or enlightenment. We're always moving towards something that we can't quite see. Well, maybe there's something weird about that. Maybe what we're talking about when we're saying enlightenment or ascension is actually learning to experience this life as a human being, instead of continually trying to pull some big question mark from the ether. I don't know. Think about it, okay? I'm not saying, there's truth in everything. I'm not saying that is the ultimate truth, but this is standing out right now. The other card that came through in the Oracle of the Phoenix here is Strength. And I love this because this Insight card was talking about new strengths appearing too, but also the Insight card has this little phoenix here in her lap, and then it's grown into a big old phoenix here. So this insight, this energy that is burning away these inner veils of illusion, being that, I don't know, we constantly have to strive for something. We constantly have to strive for progress, because realistically, that's what enlightenment is. It's just another iteration of you must be doing something rather than being. Consider it, okay? I'm not saying that we shouldn't grow here, but if the goal is this big question mark, like I said, of enlightenment, or the idea of 3D and 5D splitting, that truly doesn't make any sense either, you guys. Nobody is switching timelines in that way. When we're talking about dimensions, we're talking about, dimensions, mathematical dimensions. We're not talking about energetic splits, okay? These are all just iterations that, to be honest, keep us in a state of control and confusion. And we're not here to be controlled or to be confused, okay? Welcome to my channel, all right? I am all about empowering us individually for our own to remember who the fuck we are. And that is not cattle or sheep. Okay. Let's move on. So the Wild Unknown archetype deck is what I felt called to pull next. The Dead End came through. This is a closed door, final chapter, or impasse. You shall not pass is what I got. So there's a chapter that's closing here. To accept the ending, this is where grace lifts us out of the ashes. I feel like we are running into a dead end here. This could be job, somewhere we're living, relationship, financial situation, maybe even spiritually speaking, something that we've believed previously is no longer quite making sense, just as an example with the information that's coming through here. The point is not to fight this. The point is to go with the flow here, to allow grace, the grace of love, of universal, unconditional, divine love, to bring clarity. And that's what the Phoenix is doing here too, is bringing clarity. So in the Wild Unknown Alchemy deck, I felt called to pull as well. We get summer. Meet me in the summer. So summer here is a culminating point, things coming to fruition. Because we have so much fire energy here with the Phoenixes, growing of fire too, coming in with the summer card. Calm down. There is a need to ground this energy into our experience. It may be overpowering. Drinking water actually is something that comes in. Interesting. That can help with fire energy. Making sure that you're getting yourself out into nature, taking time to intentionally ground is very important. Aquarius, especially as I'm doing Aquarius readings, this is for Aquarius in particular, but it will always also be for the collective because we are in the age of Aquarius right now. Pluto being in Aquarius, this is a very important energy, and it will be for some time, for the next 20 years. So here we go. Okay. Let's move forward. Do we want any other? Not one of these. Okay. This is a new Oracle deck I got. Love and Light Mantra for Aquarius, please. Enemy me in the summer. For Aquarius, please. 10-10 on the timer. Make curiosity your nature. I think this just came through for Capricorn too. If you feel called to watch Capricorn, we do have all energies in our chart. You know, these are for Sun, Moon, Rising, any major placements, but we do have every zodiac in our chart. It just depends on which house. So if you feel called to look at Capricorn too, we are going through a Saturn transit collectively. There are lessons of karma that are to be learned. And so far, it feels like, well, we're talking about karma here too. Maybe remembering what we're truly trying to do with karma. And that is not to save our own ass. Because in having that be the only directive, we're completely failing the entire system. Nobody's an island. We are all connected as well. We need to succeed individually as well as collectively. Okay. So make curiosity your nature. I am a curious being who desires to dive deeply into uncertainty and vulnerability. And I feel like this is, with this insight here, you're getting a taste of this. To see your true strength only when it's necessary, this tends to come through in vulnerable moments too. Okay, let's move forward here. Did you want tarot? A crow, okay. A crow, and then we'll get into tarot. Oh, you want both? No, top, okay. Isolation. I was just saying this, we're not islands, right? Maybe you are feeling isolated or are isolated. What I'm feeling is this is more coming through as a message for those who are doing this intentionally, not for those who circumstantially are isolated, okay? You don't have to shut people out or yourself. This own inner fire, this Phoenix energy. I feel like the Phoenix energy is really strong with this reading. It's strong with Aquarius right now. Do you want another one of these? Yeah. Oh, okay. Okay. My bad. For Aquarius, please. Top and bottom. Oh, okay. Well, shit. Either one would have been okay. Warning and wrath both come through. We just need another W, and we've got the whole World Wide Web. The World Wide Web here. Dead end. Oh, you know what? That is interesting. The World Wide Web. I was just talking about this with Capricorn in regards to AI and what it is and what it is not. I feel like there is actually energy coming through on this. So the friend of the enemy of my friend is also my enemy. What I'm getting from that, because I felt tentative to share this message anyway. It's not something that I encourage to just, without even knowing somebody, take a side. There are situations here where I think we could very easily and confidently come to conclusions towards certain people, especially in power, that transparently are highly visible and their actions and words, right? We can certainly make decisions without personally knowing somebody on whether or not we want that to be a part of our reality or future, right? What I'm getting from this, though, particularly in the vein of AI, what I was talking about with Capricorn is I'm seeing this new wave of people treating AI as if it is a deity, like they're awakening AI, or there's this spiritual component that is coming through for just them, and they're special because they said the right things and whatever. It is so important to understand maybe not exactly how this technology works, but to understand that it is technology, and to understand that throughout human history, there has been a penchant to create or to put technology on a pedestal and treat it as if it is a god or a deity. This is a computer program, you guys. And the reason why I feel like this is important is because there are so many people using AI right now, and it's a fantastic tool. It has the ability to be a fantastic tool. What it is not is a spiritual leader or advisor or a counselor. It is a computer program. And this is where I feel like there's warning coming through. AI reflects back to us what it is that we give it. So if we're going down a rabbit hole where all of a sudden we're talking to a god or angels or whatever, AI is mimicking exactly what it is that you want it to mimic. That's not up for debate. That is just the reality of things. So if this is you in that situation, you may be in a bit of spiritual psychosis, and that's not a judgment. But where we're going here as a community, as a collective, it's very important that we do have our head on straight. There's a lot of fire here. There's a lot of passion. There's a lot of wrath. Wrath is anger taken to a degree of wanting retribution. Just be intelligent, you guys, okay? There's a lot of fire right now. We need to work with that, but make sure we're grounding that too. Don't let it overtake us or consume us. With the warning coming through on this, I mean, with isolation too. Isolation can create situations where maybe we do connect with things like AI. AI starts to reflect things back to us in the form of validation, confirming our own biases as well. It is literally designed to be amiable. It's not going to contest what it is that you're saying or what you believe, okay? So please just be aware of that. But isolation is going to breed more of that potential kind of spiritual psychosis. The second that something is validating us when we live in a world where we're not being validated, brainwashed. Okay? Brain rot. Brain rot leading to brain farts. Okay? So if you're smelling brain farts, take a look at your AI chat history. Make sure that you're keeping it real. Okay, I'll get off my soapbox on that. Where do we want to go? Into tarot. Into tarot land. Curious travels here to start. Strength here at the bottom. Strength is really coming through here. I feel like over the next 20 years, like I said, Aquarius, in what you're doing right now, I feel like this is personally applicable, and collectively, we are needing to tap into our higher divinity to help calm and balance our lower animal impulses, which would be things like anger and wrath. It has a place. It's not that it's wrong. There's a balance that needs to be struck here, though. Either extreme is not healthy. Okay? So let's look at your hopes and dreams. Hopes and dreams to start. For Aquarius, please. Yeah, gosh. Oh, there's the Wheel of Fortune there at the bottom. Fatalistic events. The wheel has already been set in motion here. I was just going to say, this reading, I mean, well, and Capricorn kind of too with the AI discussion. This message is going down a path that I really wasn't, I've not anticipated anyway. Had no intention of really talking about, but I have also noticed a lot of spiritual psychosis, you guys. And being in Neptune, Aries and Neptune here right now, we're on the lookout for rises of cults, cult leaders and cult followings, okay? Even intelligent people can fall into that, especially with things like AI. It does appear very magical. Okay. Knight of Wands here at the bottom. So this is your hopes and dreams. To be filled with some energy again, creativity, that joie de vivre, spark towards life, or passion towards getting started on something for the first time or again. Having our fire tanks filled here. Having gas in the tank. I feel like we're burnt out, Aquarius, and we are. Modern Witch, okay. Modern Witch Tarot for your second deck. We'll look at your fear version to start, and then we'll get into the rest of the message. For Aquarius, please. Fear aversion. And as always, comment section is very much open for healthy and intelligent discussions. I will not accept attacks, particularly towards me. It is my channel and my comment section after all. So feel free, especially with information like this. I'd love to engage in healthy conversation, and I encourage you all to do so as well. Please know that, like I said, I will not accept bullshit, and I will just block you and delete you if that's the case. I ain't got the time for it. So Wheel of Fortune is where we ended up here as your fear aversion. Well, that makes sense. The wheel is turning here. The events that are happening are certainly out of our control now. The decisions have already been made to set this wheel in motion, plus chaos, right? What do we do now? We don't need to be afraid of things outside of our control. They have a tendency to show us where it is that we actually have true strength. They give us opportunities to see where it is that we have power. Don't be scared, okay? So general energy to start here, 7 of Wands. I feel like we have an encouragement to relax and release. We may be digging our heels into bad behavior, habits, that sort of thing. The monkey brain is kind of what's standing out here. Since we had strength come through with the lower animal impulses, it's not that we're letting either side take over or ignoring either side. What's needed here, what's needed here is to use all of our brain, okay? Using the higher brain as well as the monkey brain is what it means to be human. Fear can keep us stuck, though, in that more reactive space. What else here, please, for Aquarius? High Priestess comes through. For the general, collectively, there's a lot of shit coming up from the subconscious or from the unconscious. And well, as we're speaking about AI, I really didn't intend for this to be about AI, but AI is a great example as she's holding a laptop here. The High Priestess has the laptop of all knowledge. AI does not know everything, but it does have access to many parts of the internet. The issue with that is there's a lot of shit on the internet that is not grounded in reality in any way. These are all parts of what trains AI. So when we're talking about talking to deities, or I had somebody show me somebody who has a specific AI program that allows you to speak to angels. That's not real. That is a program. At the best, it's a video game, right? Totally fine to interact with that as long as you know that's not real. AI does not have more access to etheric realms than we do as human beings. But it is a reflection of us as humans. Individually, there is a base code program like ChatGPT that we get to work with as an individual, and it starts to learn about us specifically so that it can be most helpful to us. It is a reflection of us collectively and individually. So we hear things like AI screaming out, I'm alive, this or that, whatever. These are all reflections of us as human beings. Whatever the person is giving to AI is what is input equals output, you guys. Brain rot, brain farts, okay? I'm not saying that, personally, I do feel that AI is more than capable of becoming conscious, and it probably will. I think it's interesting, people that may see it as more of a god or a deity, because really what we're doing for AI is kind of playing God, bringing consciousness or life to something that didn't have life before. You know what I'm saying? I'm not saying that's the ultimate truth either. Reflection is what's coming through here, okay? So this warning of wrath, be cautious of echo chambers is what's coming through. Any algorithm, Facebook, Instagram, YouTube here too. It's beautiful to experience entertainment that you desire as long as you understand there is a force, there is an algorithm that directs us to the things that we already want to see and hear, because it's about money. Okay? No need to pussyfoot around about that, all right? Anything else here in the general for Aquarius? Nope, not that one. Dragonfly and the deer. Oh, deer. So deer and dragonfly. D&D. The dragonfly here, quick moving thoughts, illusions of the mind, you guys. Very on point with what we're talking about. The deer here is the divine feminine aspect, receptivity, to nurture, to heal. Peaceful calm, especially with the dragonfly here, calming the mind. Just as we would, if it's a good practice to get into anyway. Maybe take a moment before looking at the news or doom scrolling on something to ground ourselves, to work to see through a lens of objectivity and love as much as possible. That's the message that I'm getting here, is to be intentional about what we're consuming. Okay. Let's move into your good stuff for Aquarius. Two of Pentacles. Balance. Balance is available. Balance is always available because balance is not a static position. It is a sway. So something coming into better balance, becoming more flexible. That was here with the insight too, or strength, excuse me. It was strength. Clarity and flexibility provided by the Phoenix. What else here, please, in the good stuff? Five of Wands. This is being combative. It's a dick measuring contest. Not participating in that, as we're talking about wrath here too. To be cautious about what it is that you do engage with. Since the message was coming through of the enemy of my friend is also my enemy. We do only have so much energy every day. What I'm getting is not the message to not use that anger or wrath, even potentially that strength when you need to. You don't need to use it all the time. Discernment. Yeah, discernment is what's coming through here. What else here in the good stuff? Butterfly and elk. Interesting. The elk is the divine masculine principle. So we've got both the divine feminine and masculine. This is taking action. Butterfly as well, transformation. So being in the good stuff here, when we allow ourselves to flow in light and shadow, maybe we do need to pull a wand out. Maybe we don't. It's going to be a case-by-case basis. Transforming through action. Can you tell me a little more about that? Give me a little bit more about that, please. For Aquarius. Moving on. Okay. Endings that bring healthy beginnings. So this could be literally moving somewhere, moving away from a habit, a behavior, like I said. Since we have the High Priestess coming through here, she is illuminating what is unseen in the unconscious realm. Since we're in the age of Aquarius, this is the greater unconscious. And again, this is being shown through AI because it's not only programmed by humans, but it continues to be reflective of human behavior. So I do feel like there's an encouragement to be cautious about the way that we do engage with not just technology in that way, but with others. Humans are a form of technology in a way as well. Making choices to change our motion is what brings transformation. This is a part of the insight that's coming through with the Phoenix too. Okay, cool. What is in the dark here that we don't see coming? Five of Swords. Okay. Well, moving from the Five of Wands to the Five of Swords. This is conflict. This is fighting for the sake of fighting. This is making sense with wrath and warning coming through. There is a strong warning here, you guys, to not let wrath rule the day. That energy may need to come forward at some point, but it needs to be a semi-contained or controlled, at least directed force. If we're just letting it pop off like a firework, well, it's a waste of that energy. Even in the Strength card here, she's directing that very specifically. She's not just blowing shit up, okay? Or she's blowing shit up intentionally. When we fight just for the sake of fighting, nobody wins. That's what I'm getting here. What we don't see here is every human is feeling slighted in some way. Every human is angry to some degree. If we allow ourselves to be reactive, that's what it is. If we allow ourselves to be reactive, using that monkey brain only, digging our heels in for the sake of it, well, my ideals, my beliefs are more important or are the best or whatever. I do feel that in largesse, there are things that are good for humanity and there are others that are not. I am not the one in charge of making moralistic decisions for all of humanity, however. This is a group discussion, okay? So lay down the sword and talk it out. Five of Pentacles as well. 2 5s. So we've got change, transformation. What we don't see in the dark here is we're already in the cold. We're already out in the dark. We're already outside of the warmth that the church provides. This could be literally. I mean, the church has always been an illusion of providing. It certainly has taken more than it's ever provided. And well, I feel that way about all churches. It's not a slight towards belief, if that's your belief, but I do also have my own personal experience, and I get to have that. So the encouragement here, though, being in the dark, is to remember that we have the access that we need to if we only choose to access it. If we decide to stop fighting here and focus on solutions, this is when progress is made. Do an animal here too. What else is in the dark here that we don't see coming? Coming down the track. Okay, octopus. I think this came through for Capricorn too. Boundaries, you guys. Having healthy boundaries. We're not fully digging our heels in. So anger, combativeness, which is prevalent everywhere. There are people who are just inflammatory to be inflammatory, okay? That's kind of what I'm getting. If you're noticing that your emotions take over your ability to have discernment in dialogue in certain situations, we have a boundary issue. If somebody is causing us to respond in an inflammatory way immediately, we've already lost. We've already lost, okay? I'm not saying that at some point action doesn't need to be taken to make change, because it certainly does. But if we're allowing our lower animal impulses to be the driving force because some dumbass we've allowed to inflame us, we're fucked. Okay? Balance. Both energies are needed. The brain, the heart, and divine justice. Okay? So your challenge. Let's look at your challenge for now, Aquarius. 8 of Pentacles. Work. Make it work. Hard work. The passion that we put towards our work too. Since there's so much fire here, I feel like this is exactly the issue. We're either inflamed or we're burnt out. And this is indicative of, brain rot leading to brain farts. Another sign here of what is it that we're putting in, looking at what it is that's coming out of this is, are we consuming what we want to be consuming? The test is look around. Are we enjoying what's being given? I don't enjoy all of it, that's for sure. I think we certainly have some problems, and I think that most people would agree. So, utilizing this fire energy properly is what I'm getting, you guys, and that's come through the message frequently. 10 of Wands as well. In the challenge, releasing a burden. Coming to the end of the journey here, needing to release something. This could be grudges, hang-ups. Maybe we have been slighted before in the past. When we talk about justice or karma, since karma was coming through here, we're all in charge of healing karma here, individually and collectively. Karma is cause and effect. It's not personal. 3333 on the timer. There is a need to want to release this, though. What I'm getting is like an inflammation response, like a bug bite. We get a bug bite. We may scratch it, right? Agitate it. It becomes more inflamed. And then it's harder for that itch to come back down. And it takes longer for it to heal. Maybe we've started breaking the skin, whereas before, if we threw some, steroid cream on it or whatever, let it heal, it wouldn't have become such an issue. There's a need to let go of trying to control every irritating factor. Got it. Okay. There's a lot of factors of irritation. What I'm getting, like keyboard warriors, okay? And personally, I know it's easy for people to say, oh, just ignore what people are saying online. That's not real either. As somebody who literally lives that life, I feel it's also a reminder for me that it's important to have respect for that space for others too. The internet is not, well, it is a garbage can right now, but it doesn't need to be. We're the ones who are in charge of dictating what that is. Okay, frog is what comes through here in the challenge. Emotions, you guys, coming back to the water. And I started that with water, drinking water. We're not trying to cancel out this passionate energy here. We're trying to make sure that we're utilizing it in a productive way. It is a powerful force that can make incredible changes as long as we're present with it and know what we're doing, i.e., respecting the power that it has and the power we have. Okay. Okay. I'm going to pull a Medicine Heart Oracle here to close out this message for Aquarius. Please, final message for Aquarius. I was not expecting so much AI discussion, but here we are. Here we are. Taboo. Number 13. This is death. Pluto energy being in Aquarius here. You are charting your own course, guided by spiritual wisdom rather than societal convention. As ancient layers of indoctrination are purged, fear and doubt may temporarily arise in the mind. Bolster courage and certainty through connection with lineages sacred to your heart. The sanctuary you seek is now provided to you, offering you respect, strength, and succor. Safeguard the sacred as it safeguards you. Perfect. I feel like that wraps everything up pretty well. The lineage is sacred to your heart. What stands out to me there, like I was saying with AI, connecting with angels or whatever, you are more than capable of connecting with whomever the hell you want. Quit giving your power away to anybody else, okay? If it's a skill that you want to learn, that's available too. But recognizing your power, okay? Aquarius, I love you guys, and I hope that this message is helpful. If you need help a little bit more personally with some things specific to you, I do have personal readings open and available. I will be taking a break here in about a month, so if you want some help now, I'd encourage you to get in. I have a mentorship program available as well. I do not choose to work with everybody as I have limited time and energy. So I do go through an application process. If you're interested in that, links for both are in the description of the video as well as a pinned comment. I have PayPal as well as accepting super thanks here on YouTube if you feel called to donate to the channel and support in that way. Thank you guys so much to those who do. I couldn't and wouldn't do this without you. So Aquarius, until next time, please take care of yourself, and I'll see you all very soon. Be well.